Hello everyone. I'm coming to you from the beautiful Haven on a blustery day, which is projected to rain at any time. I wanted to update those of you who've been following our journey, both new friends, old friends, family, our extended community, our local community. And I wanted to thank you first and foremost for your prayers, for your love, for your concern, and for your financial partnership during this incredibly challenging season for our family. On February 23rd, our family woke up to a flood in our home. The rains had been heavy, the rains had come down. We expected several inches in a matter of hours, and it looks like we probably got around 4 to 6 inches in just under 3 hours. And that torrential downpour caused a ground swell of what's called ground flooding or groundwater, where the water table under the ground, which is always there, rises because there's so much downpour and that water can't necessarily find a place to go. And so in our case, the water pooled under the house, rising from the ground, and then found its way, its exit point through our floors and through our walls, flooding about 95% of our home, damaging our floors, our baseboards, and a portion of our walls. I called a remediation company around 6:20 in the morning after I woke up to find the flood, bleary-eyed, unsure of what was happening, and thankfully they were able to get to us in a matter of hours to start extracting the water off of the floors and out of the house and starting to do flood cuts into the walls to help alleviate some of the damage. And thankfully, we were able to prevent most areas in the home from growing mold or, getting worse than it would have been. So that was a great starting point. But we did have to suddenly move out of the house. The house was unlivable and is now currently unlivable. Since that morning, we've had an amazing response from our local community and our extended community through prayers, through practical support, people coming and showing up multiple times to help us move. We've now moved twice since we left that day on the 23rd, and we've had so many people offer themselves and their finances, and we're so very grateful for that. We had a dear friend in Arizona set up a Give, Send, Go website where we are starting a campaign to help save the Haven and to help financially cover the devastation that has happened to our home. Unfortunately, the insurance will not cover the claim because it's groundwater. No flood policy covers groundwater, and no insurance policy covers groundwater either, which we are learning the hard way. We want to thank all of you that have been praying for us. We want to thank each of you that showed up to help us move boxes and pack bags and get our families to a safer place. And we especially want to thank those of you who have been donating financially. And we want you to know that during this time, though it is devastating, the Lord is so faithful and so powerful. In fact, just a few days after the flood, me and Simeon went to our small group, and Simeon was leading worship. He was singing a song called New Wine by Hillsong. It's a song that we've heard and sang many times before as a couple. And yet this time, something struck me so powerfully in the song that I started weeping and thanking God for the flood. And I don't mean that in a disingenuous way. I don't mean that I was just saying, well, thank you, God, for this flood. I guess it's your will. I mean that deep down inside of me, something rose up in my spirit, and I recognized the loving hand of the Father upon my life, and that even as the floodwaters came, it was giving me an opportunity to enter into a deeper place of intimate worship with God, and that I would get to know Him better and potentially look more like Christ at the end of this trial and this suffering. And so I thanked Him for it. And I am thanking God. I am thanking God for His goodness. He is showing us to be faithful and strong. He is lighting a new fire inside of me to fight and embrace what the season is, but to fight for what we've been given and what we said yes to on June 3rd, 2021, when we signed the contract for this house. We want to preserve the dream of the Haven. We do not want to give up on this healing space and this place where we know that ultimately people can meet God in this space here. It's such a special land and it's such a special home to us. So we will fight both in prayer and in everything that we can do practically to save our house. And we want to invite you into that, to pray with us and to continue to share this story and journey with us during this time.